So there's this writer, Amanda Marcotte, I think that's how you pronounce it, writing for Salon.com, who wrote an article, obviously. Yeah, a little bit back, June 1st was the 50th anniversary of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which is widely regarded by a lot of people, including me, as one of the greatest albums ever recorded. And she wrote this article saying, see if I can find I want to make sure I'm quoting her right, the name of this article. Yeah. Against Sgt. Pepper, the Beatles classic made pop seem male, nerdy, and important. That's in quotes. And that wasn't a good thing. What she's trying to say here is, when the Beatles recorded Sgt. Pepper, they stopped doing female-centric music. And what she means by female-centric music, I guess, is dance music. And she was saying how the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper, kind of put an end to the Beatles' dance music and put an end to dance music in general and bubblegum pop music, which according to her is a female-centric thing, which technically is another sexist thing, she's saying. And they didn't look the same anymore. They looked all weird, which was appealing more to the men, I guess. And basically what she's saying is women only like bubblegum pop and dance music. Music they can dance to. And once Sgt. Pepper was released, the music wasn't for women anymore. It was for men. Men who think that they're smarter than women and that this music is too smart for women. It's totally ridiculous. It's gotten way out of hand. I don't know if she's serious or not, or if she's just writing this to get attention, but why does everything have to be about this kind of thing? Why does everything have to be anti-women to some of these people? It's ridiculous. And she goes on, she talks about other forms of music. She says how disco was mostly female-centric and the males killed that. And how grunge was kind of welcomed because it was more male-centric and it stopped bands like Madonna and shit like that from being popular, which isn't true at all. Madonna had hits after grunge came out. She really needs to do her research. And the Beatles really stopped doing dancey, poppy kind of music. I mean, Rubber Soul came out a year and a half before Sgt. Pepper. It doesn't seem like that long before, but in the 60s, that was like a couple of albums before Sgt. Pepper. So they had 2 albums before Sgt. Pepper, Rubber Soul and Revolver, that were not female-centric, as she puts it. I don't know if she uses the word female-centric. That's the only way I can think to put it. Appealing to females. And she doesn't mention those albums at all. Apparently it's just Sgt. Pepper. But then she goes on to say that Sgt. Pepper is a good album. And I don't know what's going on. She says that Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is a song you could possibly dance to. And I don't know. I'm just confused. She talks about the Ramones. She says she praises the Ramones for being influenced by early 60s groups. Like girl groups and, Beach Boys and stuff like that. Which is more poppy and more appealing to women. Really? The Ramones were appealing to women? In the 70s, these punk bands that were coming out had predominantly male audiences. The women weren't generally a fan of these bands. I don't know where she gets her information from, but it's totally ridiculous. And to suggest that women only like dance music and bubblegum pop and stuff is totally ridiculous. I know plenty of women who hate pop music, who love rock music, who love the Beatles and the Ramones, even though she says women. Back then they didn't. But I don't know what else to say. I'll put a link to this article in the description. It's just gotten so ridiculous. Where even the Beatles are apparently anti-female. I really don't know what else to say. I mean, it's gotta stop. It's just really gotta stop. People gotta relax. People really need to relax. She's saying it's not deserving of the accolades it's getting for the 50th anniversary. Sgt. Pepper. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest album ever. It's not even my favorite Beatles album, but it is a magnificent album. And there are plenty of women who think the same as me. I guess that's all I have to say on the subject, and I don't know, if you want to check out the article, see what she thinks, maybe you agree. I hope you disagree. I hope you're rational and disagree. But that's all I gotta say about it. I'm just annoyed. I'm just tired of this everywhere. Relax, people. It's not that serious. It's really not that serious at all. Have a good day, everybody.